Hey guys, and how about we watch a death battle, Kratos vs Spawn. Remember to click here to go to the official release to like, comment, favorite, subscribe, whatever you want to do, but make sure you support Death Battle and Screw Attack too. Because yes, I am going to be watching the entire death battle, so you don't want to be spoiled. Now then, I don't really know anything about either Kratos nor Spawn, which is a pretty common thing in my watches of Death Battle. I know Kratos is from God of War, I looked up where Spawn was from, and Spawn is from the comic book series Spawn, which I didn't know. But yeah, so I know really nothing about them. I know that Kratos he's either a god or a demigod, right? One of those. At least I'm pretty sure he is. I know he's fought gods before, so I think that he's gonna be a pretty, good opponent. But then again, if he's that good and they're pitting Spawn against him, Spawn has to be pretty good too. I just don't know how. So, in order to learn more about them and see how the battle plays out, let's get to watching. It is weird going into these knowing nothing about the characters, but
of
I
all
like
the
learning,
warriors who have entered this arena, none can compete with these two titans of death. Kratos, the ghost of Sparta who single-handedly annihilated Olympus.
And Spawn, who managed to dethrone both Satan and God.
I'm Wizard and he's Boomstick.
Both
and
impressive
it's our job to
feats.
analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Cool. So Spawn had a show
Kratos
too.
is a demigod, raised among the Spartans
cool.
as their greatest warrior, until one day his people were threatened to be overrun. It was then he struck a deal with Ares, the god of war. Ares would give him the strength to protect his people.
God of war.
In return, Kratos would serve as Ares' champion warrior.
Kratos became super powerful and really vicious, but was tricked by Ares into killing his own family. But hey, he saved some money on child support and divorce.
That's
The
mean.
hot, white ashes of his family clung permanently to his skin.
Just like Michael Jackson.
His quest for vengeance against the gods of Olympus began. As a demigod, Kratos possesses incredible strength, speed, and endurance. He can survive a pummeling from a titan and best the power of Hercules.
Kratos wields the blades
Best
of
in
exile,
Hercules is a
twin
pretty
short
big feat.
swords bound to his arms by chains. The blades have a hook design which Kratos can use to cut right through his enemies or snag them and whip them around. And like most badass weapons, they can somehow emit fire.
Kratos is well trained in sword combat and possesses what may be the most powerful sword the Greek gods have to offer, the Blade of Olympus.
After Kratos killed Ares, spoiler, he was made the god of war, but Zeus tricked him into putting all of his godly powers into this sword, making him mortal once again.
And making the Blade of Olympus a deadly harbinger of death to even the toughest Olympians. His most versatile defense is his golden fleece, armor capable of blocking powerful blows and deflecting magical attacks.
That's pretty cool.
But there's a whole lot more to this guy's arsenal. Like the bow of Apollo, which can shoot a rapid stream of arrows or charge up deadly fire arrows.
It's making me
Then
think
there's
of
the
Link
claws
from
of
Zelda.
Hades, which mercilessly rip the souls out of their victims, though tough opponents like Kratos
I mean, a little
can't
darker,
resist them.
but
The Nemean Cestus are giant, ultra-strong gauntlets which can stun foes with brutal shockwaves.
The boots of Hermes give him superhuman speed, and when battling the infamous Icarus, he ripped those huge wings off the old fool's back and took them for his own, giving him powers of flight.
Holy
could do that.
crap, that's a lot of weapons. I like this guy.
Kratos is not invincible, but he is very difficult to kill.
Hell, he can't even kill himself.
In his rage, he tore apart the ranks of Mount Olympus and slaughtered every god upon and below it, except for Aphrodite.
For obvious reasons.
In doing so, he ultimately brought about the end of the world. Without the power of the gods to keep the chaos in check, the apocalypse had arrived, and its vanguard was Kratos.
I was trying to make you a great warrior. You succeeded.
ooh, that's a line to die at. Okay.
Al Simmons was trained to be a deadly, stealthy soldier and assassin.
they had a movie,
and proved
too.
numerous times he was
Awesome.
the best of the best. But when his morality got the better of him, his boss terminated his contract permanently.
Oh, geez.
That's when
what?
Simmons met Malbogia, one of the demon lords of hell, who struck a deal with him. He'd get to see his wife again if he became captain of Hell's armies. He agreed and was reborn as a Hell Spawn. But as with most demons, it tricked him, leaving Spawn with a fate worse than death. And of course, Spawn swore revenge.
Being a Hellspawn, he has superhuman strength and speed. He is nearly invulnerable and can use his own powers to heal and regenerate.
In addition,
Helpful.
Spawn can feed or draw from the evil ores of others for the same effect. It really saves him on band-aids.
He wears a living, parasitic, symbiotic suit, named
like Venom.
Letha of the 7th House of K.
Letha has ridiculous powers. Basically, anything she or Spawn wants to happen can happen. The suit can create and control change, claws, spikes, and morph itself into pretty much anything Spawn wants.
Helpful.
Like a badass cape that can trap enemies and protect Spawn from all sorts of dangers.
The suit has a mind of its own and can operate while Spawn focuses on other parts of the battle. It's strong enough to easily smash through brick and fast enough to block bullets. However, Letha feeds off necroplasm energy when using the suit's powers, a hellish matter which Spawn is entirely composed of. If Letha uses too much, Spawn will be sent back to hell. However, like Spawn, Letha can also feed off the evil and sin of others.
Spawn's also got tons of magic powers. He can teleport, transform, blow things up, turn invisible, alter matter, talk to animals, fly with his cape, read minds, and open portals to heaven and hell. Holy crap!
Yeah.
And he can control the elements, often using fire and water to defeat swarms of enemies.
Okay.
However, even with all these godlike abilities, Spawn usually resorts to his most primitive weapon. As he was trained in special forces for so long, Spawn is most comfortable using a gun. He's an expert in the use of nearly any firearm imaginable.
Only two things can break through Spawn's defenses and hurt him: necro magic and holy weapons forged in heaven. In addition, he can only die if he's beheaded.
Spawn's fought and killed all sorts of powerful enemies. Assassins, cyborgs, vampires, ghosts, angels, demons, other hellspawn, rampaging deities, even Satan and God. Yes, that old lady is the God.
That's God.
Really? God looks like my nana. My demigod?
And after being granted unlimited power from the mother of all things, Spawn banished God and Satan from the earth, which he wiped clean and rebuilt in his own image. He then willingly sacrificed his own god powers and eventually returned to his hellspawn form.
Oh,
Okay.
why the hell would he do that? He must have been really bored.
He seemed pretty powerful as it was, so.
All right, the
You getting ready
combatants
for
are
commercial?
set. Let's end this debate once and for all.
we
But
go.
first, let's take a commercial break from Jack Threads. Over to you, Boomstick.
And pause. Okay, let's talk about this real quick. So, my first thought, I'm just gonna say this right now, I think that Kratos is going to win. Mostly because, like, he stabbed himself with the most powerful weapon, like, available, and he didn't die, apparently. Like, that's a pretty vital spot, too. If you get hit there with a blade that big and that powerful, I imagine it's gonna do some damage to you. Because it had, like, that's where he put all his god powers, right? And he was immortal then, hit by a weapon with tons of god powers. That sounds pretty strong. If he survived that, that's awesome. And then Spawn 2, it said, like, holy weapons, right? Yeah, holy weapons. I don't know if it counts as being holy if it's built by gods, but that's what I usually think of when I hear holy, so that could hurt Spawn, you know, any of that weapon. I think the Spawn suit does sound really helpful, though, like, kind of like Gaara and Naruto with the sand, how Gaara doesn't have to be focused, the sand just kind of protects him. It seems like the suit will do that too, while Spawn could be focused in other areas, the suit can create chains or whatever to protect Spawn. So that sounds really good. Spawn, I think his arsenal is just not as good because he just has like bullets and stuff. And if you're fighting a god or someone who's taken on gods, I think that's not quite enough. Whereas Kratos, you know, he has his, you know, big, bulky, you know, demigodish self, or maybe mortal self, but either way, he defeated gods. Along with all of those really powerful weapons, including the god-made weapons and all the god, you know, like, armor and the boots and stuff. The one thing that I'm thinking might push Spawn to winning is the fact that he can feed off of evil. But I don't know if Kratos is considered evil, so... I mean, he's defeating gods and everything, but these gods kind of seem like jerks. So is he really evil or is he just misunderstood, you know? I don't know how this is gonna play out. I want to say that Kratos is going to win. If Kratos is considered evil, then that'll really help Spawn because he has his regeneration and everything, and he can fly and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Kratos is going to win, unless, cool? Okay. I'll get to where we need to resume, and then we'll resume this one. And play. Here we go, Kratos versus Spawn. There's Kratos, all white and stuff. It's sad how that's why he's white, the ashes of his family. Jeez. Chains are helpful so far. See, Kratos has good defenses, but he has to be aware of them himself, you know? Oh, where'd Spawn go? You special agent. Oh, hey! Oh, I missed that he could teleport, apparently. That's cool. Nope. And I forgot he had wings. Oh, it's like they're getting closer to hell, though they're not really. Oh. That's not enough. That can't be enough. Screw that. Fire. Oh, he brought his sword out. Okay. No.
Die.
Oh. Ooh. Spawn won. Okay.
Man, here here comes the rage from the God of War fanboys.
Kratos is a very difficult one to beat, but Spawn's magical prowess and near indestructible body proved too much for him.
Yeah, normally that last attack would have meant the end for his opponent, but not Spawn.
And while much of Kratos' arsenal were forged by Olympians, Olympus is composed of earthly elements, and is not another plane of existence like heaven, so it stands to reason none of the Olympian weapons could kill Spawn.
Except the Blade of Olympus, but it wasn't enough.
Plus, Spawn and his suit had plenty of evil energy to feed on during the fight, since Kratos is literally covered in his past sins.
Well, that was one hell of a fight.
The winner is Spawn.
Yeah. Alright.
Next
So I
time
can take a
on
bit of
Death
victory from that. Slayer of Dragons. Explosion extraordinaire. Bomberman versus the other dude.
Want to see
I don't
your
know the
ideal
other
death
guy,
battle come to
clearly,
life? Subscribe
but
and leave your
okay.
suggestion in the comments below.
We'll skip to
Thanks
the
for
end.
watching.
So there it was, Kratos versus Spawn. Because I forgot, claps for Kratos. Wait, claps for Spawn. Yay. Okay, so, yeah, I was right in the sense that at least he did feed off of the evil, but I apparently missed that whole part where they said Kratos was covered in his, like, past sins. I don't remember that even after they said it. So, yeah, I missed that part, and that was my fault. I apparently did not know enough about Olympus to realize that those were not holy weapons, or something like that. No, did it say holy weapons in heaven? Because I was just thinking about holy weapons, but whatever. So the Olympus thing makes sense if he can't actually, like, hurt Spawn, aside really from that sword at the end, which, I'll have to rewatch this sometime because I don't see how that's, you know, like, the blade of Olympus can hurt him if it was forged in Olympus too, but whatever. Spawn's suit really did come in handy. I mean, that's how he had the spike at the end, right? I totally did not realize that Spawn had all the teleportation abilities and that he really had that much magic to go off of. I don't know what I was listening to, but apparently it was something just going on in my head while they were talking, because I missed a lot, I feel like, in this battle, or I overlooked a lot of things. I try really hard to focus on key details, but it obviously doesn't pay off every time. Still though, I really liked this battle. It was really cool. It's fun to see fights between two people of equal power. And especially when they're, like, human-sized. Saying this really quick because I know that Godzilla vs. Gamera is going to come out soon. I'm not a huge fan of, like, giant mechs or giant things in general. I'm more like when they're, like, small people, like normal people, or, you know, kind of things. Like Yoshi, he's a small dinosaur, but he's really cool and powerful and awesome. Cloud, you know, pretty short human, actually. I think he was, you know, he's in the 5-foot range, you know, 5 to 6. But he was still freaking powerful, and I like characters like that, as opposed to, I'm big and that makes me cool, you know. More power to you if you like that. That's awesome. I'm just expressing my preference. But yeah, so this battle, I liked it. It was like a fight between gods, even though they weren't quite gods anymore, you know? Like, they both had been at one point. They both accomplished fantastic, amazing feats. They both had their own dark backstories. And they were very comparable opponents, I thought. It makes sense to me why Spawn would win. I think that in some cases, Kratos would win. But in most, I could agree that Spawn would win. It seems like he has the most defenses that he doesn't even have to worry about. The fewer things can hurt him. Spawn didn't even use the arsenal that I thought would be his downfall, like the bullets and everything. Like, he didn't seem to use it that often. Maybe he quickly realized that it wasn't working, and so he switched up his tactics, you know, switched to more magic and that sort of thing, which totally works against Kratos. Kratos, you know, he's very good, he's very powerful, he has good defense, but he has to be constantly aware, he has to activate it all himself. When I say activate, I mean, like, put your arm up in front of the bullet or whatever, which he did. Is just a little much for him, I guess. A little much for Kratos. But yes, another good death battle, I think. These death battles are fantastic, and I really do like learning about these characters, but I really didn't know it all before. It's cool. So with all that, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that, and if you did, of course, feel free to like, comment, and if you're new, even subscribe. It means a lot, it really helps me out, and I would love to have you guys. So, tune in next time for my next video, and until then, take care.